got a tattoo, then you gotta have a story. Here comes Mike, a great tattoo model photographer, and we've got our first Origami ink.
This is the Kahuna here. I'm in Houston, Texas, and I've got the Mike Liebner. Now, Mike does a lot of stuff, but most importantly, Mike's got some ink. We're going to talk to him about that first, and then we're going to get into a couple of other things that I think you might find interesting. Mike, you got some badass ink. Tell the folks about it. I'd like to, let them know what you got and why you got it.
Well, I don't collect as much ink as I like, obviously, usually photographing more than anything else, so I capture more of other people's ink than I get. But my favorite piece right now is probably a piece on my back, it's not complete yet. It's a big dragon. It's actually going to be part of a mural that I'm going to have a bunch of different artists contribute different dragons and stuff on there as it goes along. So that's kind of my long-term goal on that one. So I have dragon here, nautical star here, which is kind of for my daughter, my oldest daughter. Her name is Lydia, which means from the sea or by the sea. So that's kind of in for her. And it's got a little dragon behind it, so because I'm into dragons, so that's where that kind of comes from. So those are probably my favorites.
Mike's been burned. He's into dragons, we know. Now, you talked about what I affectionately refer to as the Dragon Collective on the back.
Right.
Who are some of the artists that you want to do some work there?
Well, definitely, Hollis Cantrell is one. He's one of my favorite artists. I like Zhang Po, does some incredible work. Most of the dragons that I have are more of what they consider the Eastern European ones. They're the bulky, more muscular ones. The scales, what you would consider your traditional dragons. Zhang Po does some great Asian flavored, Asian or Oriental dragons, so they're really great too. I like to incorporate some of that too, because there seems to be dragons really just in every culture. So I think I'd like to incorporate that. Guy Orsides, another one. He's a great one. Matt, who was here, Matty, that you interviewed earlier today, I think he might do a really cool one too. So just to get some different takes on it and stuff like that, to get different artists to do that. So
I kind of like that, a piecemeal dragon. Kind of going to be kind of cool when it's done. Let me ask you this. Mike's an incredible photographer, and he photographs just about anything. He's incredibly accomplished in the tattoo community, does a lot of work with tattoo models. Who are some of the models you really like working with?
Well, that's a good question, and I appreciate the compliment. I do my best. It's a learning process. It always is. I mean, I've been doing it for 30 years, but there's still a lot to learn every day. So most of what we do is it really kind of depends on the model that you're working with, what kind of ink they have, and what might be behind the story. Lavanya Von Rouge is a great one. She's got some incredible ink. She's a very versatile model. She does pinup. She does steampunk. She can do, really anything. So she's very versatile. I really enjoy working with her. Of course, I love working with Bree, my fiance. She's a lot of fun. She started off doing some steampunk stuff, and now she does like lingerie and boudoir. She's had stuff published that's, maternity stuff that she's done. So it's really just kind of depends on who it is. My favorite person really has to be that person that's in front of my camera at the time, because they have to know that, that they're the most important thing on my mind at that point to capture the best images that I can.
He's going to be a politician, folks. Can you tell? That last answer? Yeah, it's beautiful. Another question. Just let's go to the other end of the spectrum. Okay. If you could give a tattoo model one or two tips, what would they be? A new one, just starting out.
Well, from a new model, it's just, network, be as versatile as possible, show some variety in your portfolio, show that you can do a number of things. Don't pigeonhole yourself into one thing. I think you have a lot of models that because they have a lot of ink, they feel that all of a sudden they have to do nudes, and that's not necessary. You don't have to do that. So, and of course, my 18-month-old daughter has a lot of opinions on that too. So, but really, it's just be smart, surround yourself with people that are helping you do the right thing in the industry. So, and that's kind of what we try to do with the Twisted Angels too. We just kind of try to help you move in a positive direction and make all the right decisions, so you don't run into some of the mistakes and stuff that a lot of people have.
Now, anybody that's watched our channel know that we have interviewed a lot of Twisted Angel models, and Mike is the mastermind behind the Angels. But more importantly, I think he and his wife have a really good eye for who they should pick and why. So with that said, you can come up here if you'd like. We don't mind. Come on up. We've got a future twisted angel here. She's got this I want to be noticed look, but more importantly, Mike's done a lot of work with a lot of models, and I think from the Twisted Angels perspective, tell us a little bit how you get engaged with those folks and how you really try to support them, because I think it's unique, and I think it's something that basically says, look, we have something we want to give back, and we want to make sure that tattoo models are prepared and able to be effective, professional, and earn livings.
Well, I think the most important thing that we do is we try and get them to be really as positive, move in positive directions as much as they can, both on a personal level and on a professional level. If you can do it on the personal level, then that's going to translate into the professional level. I mean, they kind of go hand in hand, obviously. But we try and help them make the best decisions. There's a lot of scam artists and stuff out there that want you to do this or do that. And we have a lot of the girls that will come to us and say, hey, have you heard about this? Do you know anything about this? And we have the resources that we can look into that stuff, and we can make sure they're making the right decision if that's something they want to do. The nice thing about Twisted Angels is that we're non-exclusive. You can be a part of other groups. You can do all those things. Now there are, unless it's a conflict of interest, of course. If it's something, if they're working with another group that's trying to get the same client we have or something like that, that can be a little bit of a conflict of interest. But other than that, as long as they're, moving in a positive direction and they're doing things to make themselves better and do things positively for their career, then, we're all for that.
Awesome. Folks, I'm here to tell you, like I said, we've talked to a lot of angels, and they've been incredible people, both on camera and off. So I think part of that is because of Mike and the way he attempts to steer in the system. Probably the last thing I'd ask is, beyond getting a dragon finish, is there anything else you want to get?
Well, I think, I'm a big Marvel Comics fan, so, I mean, that would have to be something I would have to go to Hollis for. I mean, he's just, all the stuff he does with that is great, and, he's somebody that we think very highly of. He was our first featured artist that we used with the Twisted Angels, that we really kind of promote his work and whatnot. We have several artists now. I mean, at this juncture, we have over 300 models and whatnot in 9 countries. And we've expanded to the point where we have artists and we have photographers in each country that we help promote and feature them as well. On a regular basis, we work with about 70 or so different, brands, publications, and stuff like that. Fury Apparel is one of the brands that we work with, and I'm wearing their shirt today. I think Bree's wearing one of their shirts too, and Darius is an amazing guy. It's really a matter of networking. You find some really great people to work with and kind of move forward from there. So, but getting back to the tattoo, it's got to be a Marvel thing. I'm into Marvel and Star Wars, and that's probably why Hollis and I are pretty good friends as far as that's concerned, because we both enjoy the same stuff as far as that is. And so Bree thinks I need to do a Yoda tattoo as well, so because I can do Yoda in voices every now and then, not as often as you would like, but it gets weird when she's asking me to do it at certain times. So, but not right now, he thinks, but But we just try to have fun, and I think I would do Star Wars and Marvel Comics, and that's something I would definitely want to look at Hollis to do.
Okay. Well, I think the Force is going to be with him. I think we can all agree with that. He's got an incredible young Twisted Angel right here. Make sure that you check out. They've got a radio hour. They've got a website. They got a YouTube channel. Make sure you check their stuff out. And most importantly, this is Kahuna. This is Mike. This is the newest Twisted Angel. We want you to make sure that you take a look at our stuff. We want to make sure that you subscribe to our channel. We want to make sure you hit that like button and give us a comment on this. We'd really appreciate it. I know Mike would. This is Kahuna, and we are out.
Baseball guy here, coming from Houston, Texas. And you might remember an 80s song by Madonna, La Isla Bonita. Well, we have the real life La Isla Bonita. Isla here, and you're looking very bonita today.
Thank you very much.
Well, it's awesome to have you. And you've got a tattoo right here. And the first thing I thought about it when I saw that was like, is that origami? And you were like, yeah. So I was like, cool. Tell me about this.
I have an origami elephant, and the reason behind the origami elephant is my mother got diagnosed with breast cancer like 3 years ago, and I wanted to get a tattoo that she could enjoy because her favorite animals are elephants, and while she was alive. Also, the origami part, it has to do with my oldest son. He loves to do origami. And then the splashes of blue is my mother's favorite color and also represents my best friend that passed away like 5 years ago. And it just shows that he's always in my life in splits and splatters.
So a lot of deep meaning behind this tattoo, and obviously just amazing. And how is your mother doing these days?
Well, she's doing fine. She recovered just fine.
Awesome. And then your son, he's got a little side project with his origami.
Yes, all through middle school, he learned it himself. He would go and his friends will give him bills and he'll make whatever design you wanted. And that's what he did. That's one of the reasons why I chose an origami elephant to represent him.
So he's making a little bit of money. So if you want an origami figure, check out her son. And speaking of your son, you got something pretty amazing here on your wrist. Why don't you tell me about this story?
I have my son's name, and it's a little sad story behind this. Actually, when I was getting it done, we were sitting on the tattoo chair, and he was 6 months old, like sitting on my lap. The reason why I got that tattoo is because I went through a little depression moment, and I thought about hurting myself. But different things happened, and I came to the realization that I couldn't leave him by himself, and I didn't go through it. So this was mostly to remind me that the reason why I'm here, the reason why I live is for him. And whenever I go through like a hard time or anything, I look at my wrist and I remind myself that he's the reason why I'm here.
So this tattoo ended up being a little bit therapeutic for you.
Yes, it was.
Well, one of the things about doing this is I get to meet a lot of people, and there's a little wristband here I'm wearing. A couple I had interviewed had a son that actually committed suicide. And so they have a thing that they use to get out a message that you matter and to don't give up. And they're trying to prevent people from committing suicide. So I'm so thankful that you didn't go through that. And for you people out there, really know that life changes. So if things are bad, hang in there. Don't give up. You matter. Now, what was your first ever tattoo?
I have an eclipse on my shoulder, and that was my first tattoo.
And what does the eclipse signify?
It's the sun and the moon, and the sun represents me because I'm like the sunshine, I'm outgoing, I'm social. The moon represents my husband because he's the quiet one. He doesn't really like to talk. We're totally opposites, and they used to call him my shadow. So that's why we got the eclipse, because they're like, y'all total opposites. When y'all come together, y'all a beautiful couple, but we don't know how y'all ended up together.
Awesome. And so what's going to be your next tattoo?
My next tattoo, I want to get, it sounds kind of basic, but I want to get my youngest son's hands. He has really tiny hands. And I want to get with two puzzle pieces breaking apart, and then the sun shining through, and it's going to say mommy and the day he was born.
Oh my gosh, I'm going to cry on that one. That's so sweet. And wow, just amazing. Now, in addition to getting tattoos, you've been just starting to do some modeling. Why don't you tell me a little bit about that?
Okay, I began modeling this year, even though with the whole pandemic. And I'm actually part of a group called Deep Texas Beauties. And the president of the club or the group, he reached out to me. I've known him for a while, but he's like, you're different. You look Asian, but yet you're Hispanic. So, there's something about you that makes you different. So I want you to try out. So I actually took photos with him, and it just went off from there.
Awesome. Well, I wish you good luck in your career. I want to thank you for coming on our show here. And I want to invite you, the viewers, to like this video, to comment about just how bonita Isla is, and to also smash that subscribe button. This is Baseball Guy in Isla, and we're checking out.